I sat in my sleek private office, gaze fixed on the Bloomberg terminal as quantum core technologies stock surged once more, soaring to yet another all-time high. Market cap, $4.2 billion. Not too shabby for a patent my parents had secretly sold off 5 years ago behind my back. My phone vibrated beside me. Another message from Mom. "Sweetie, please call us. We need to discuss the family's investment opportunity," it read. I chuckled bitterly. Now they were interested in investments? Where was this enthusiasm when I was burning 20-hour days in our garage, developing the quantum processing algorithm that could revolutionize artificial intelligence? The memory still burned bright. 5 years ago, Dad had casually announced over dinner, "We sold your patent." Like discussing the weather. I froze with my fork halfway to my mouth. "You did what?" I gasped. "It's for the best, dear," Mom said with that patronizing smile she'd perfected over years of dismissing my work. "You can now focus on a real career. The Anderson firm still has that junior accountant position waiting for you." My voice trembled as I whispered, "That patent was mine. How could you even access it?" "We're your parents," Dad replied firmly. "You were using our garage, our electricity, our resources. You're still listed as a dependent on our taxes. The patent office accepted our signatures." I pushed back from the table, my dinner forgotten. "Do you have any idea what you've done? That algorithm could revolutionize quantum computing. It's worth..." Dad interrupted, "Worth $10,000. We've put it into a savings account for your future. You should be thanking us." I stormed to my old guest room, converted from my childhood bedroom when I first started my computer phase, and frantically checked my emails. There it was. The official notification that patent #US 1045872B2 had been transferred to TechCorp Industries. My life's work, sold for less than the cost of Mom's latest designer handbag. Now in the present, my intercom buzzed, pulling me from my thoughts. "Miss Chin, your 2 p.m. is here. The TechCorp Industries acquisition team." I straightened my Armani suit, paid for with the proceeds of that very algorithm, and nodded. "Send them in." 5 executives entered, their expressions a mixture of respect and apprehension. They knew the story, everyone in tech did, about the patent war between Quantum Core and TechCorp. The lead counsel from TechCorp cleared her throat. "We appreciate you meeting with us regarding the patent situation," she began. I raised my hand. "Let's be clear. You bought that patent from unauthorized sources. My parents had no legal right to transfer my intellectual property. Our legal team has confirmed that. We offered them $10,000 for an algorithm powering AI systems worth billions. Quite a bargain, wouldn't you say?" My phone buzzed again. Dad's latest message. "The Country Club membership committee meets tomorrow. As a successful entrepreneur, your membership would be guaranteed. Call us." Turning back to the TechCorp team, I said, "Your options are simple. Return my patent and face the consequences of 5 years of unauthorized use, or..." I paused. "Quantum Core acquires TechCorp. My algorithm, my terms. They've paid." Everyone knew Quantum Core's acquisitions were more like hostile takeovers. From a one-woman startup, I'd grown into a tech giant by reclaiming what was stolen from me. The CFO sputtered, "You can't be serious. TechCorp is a 50-year-old company and you're just 28. "I'm the CEO now," I interrupted. "And I just watched my algorithm generate billions for your company while my parents told everyone I was still finding myself." A cold smile spread across my face. "Shall we discuss the terms?" As they filed out, visibly shaken, my assistant Jennifer entered with the latest reports. "Your parents called again," she said, handing me a stack of papers. "They mentioned a family investment fund they want to discuss." I glanced at the newest message from Mom. "Darling, we've always believed in your potential. Let's discuss how the family can support your growth." I remembered a different story, 4 years ago when they dismissed my startup. "Honey, you have an accounting degree. The Anderson firm isn't where you belong," Mom had said with disdain. I'd shown them my new business plan explaining my quantum processing algorithm. But Dad slammed his hand on the table. "We sold that computer nonsense for your own good. It's time to join the real world." I looked around at their perfect suburban home, paid for by Dad's job and Mom's family wealth. The real world I knew was changing. My startup was for those willing to challenge the status quo. Mom scoffed. Technology is for people who can't succeed in traditional careers. That night I moved out into a tiny studio apartment. They'd sold my patent but they couldn't sell my mind. I started coding again, building something new. Back to the present, Jennifer announced. The acquisition papers are ready, and the Wall Street Journal is requesting a comment on the rumors. I pulled up market data. Quantum Core's stock rose another 3%, and my net worth now exceeded $2.1 billion. Jennifer hesitated. One more thing, your parents are waiting in the lobby. I closed my eyes, recalling every dismissive comment, every condescending smile, every time they told relatives I was still finding my way, while I secretly built an empire. Send them in. They entered like they owned the place. Mom in her designer suit, Dad with his confident stride. 5 years hadn't changed their attitude, only their desperation to claim a connection to my success. Mom, eyeing my office with its panoramic city views, said, "You've done so well for yourself. We always knew Dash would succeed." I interrupted, pulling up an old email. "Did you? Like when you told Aunt Sarah I was just living off your charity?" Dad shifted uncomfortably. "That's ancient history," he muttered. Mom pushed forward. "We're here to discuss the family's involvement in Quantum Core." I laughed softly. "Like when you involved yourselves in selling my patent. That was a misunderstanding." She waved dismissively. "We only thought of your future." My future. I stepped to the window overlooking the skyline, where Quantum Core's towers dominated the horizon. "Let's talk about the future you envisioned for me," I said. Mom reached into her folder, trembling slightly. "A family investment trust," she said. "We could pool our resources." I shot her a look. "Like the $10,000 you got for my patent?" I pulled up Quantum Core's valuation on the screen behind me. "That algorithm you sold is now the backbone of our quantum AI platform. Its current market value, $4.2 billion. A 42,000% return you missed out on." Dad's face reddened. "We tried to protect you from Dash." "From what? Success? Independence? Proving you wrong." I pressed a button, revealing TechCorp's declining stock. My next target. "I'm acquiring them next week. Their board votes on my terms tomorrow." Mom gasped. "But TechCorp is massive." "Exactly," I cut her off. "They built their entire AI division on stolen IP. My IP." My phone buzzed again. Another message from the country club. They'd been trying to recruit me since Quantum Core went public. The same club that rejected my membership 3 years ago because entrepreneurship isn't a real career. "We understand we made mistakes," Mom pleaded. "But we're family. Surely that counts for something." I pulled up more emails, reminders of how they'd dismissed me, declared me mentally unstable, or tried to access my bank accounts. Dad stepped forward, his negotiation tone back. "The past is the past," he said. "We're offering an opportunity to bring the family together under the Quantum Core umbrella." I studied them, their faces a mix of greed and desperation. 5 years ago they saw me as a failure, someone to be rescued from her dreams. Now they saw me as a ticket back to the success they tried to deny. "Jennifer," I called through the intercom, "bring in the acquisition papers and the old patent transfer documents." They entered again, faces tense but hopeful, desperate to claim what I'd built. Mom, smiling thinly, said, "We're proud of you. You've done so well." I looked at them, unwavering. "Let's talk about the future. Your version or mine?" They left, defeated but still clinging to their illusions. I turned back to my window, the city sprawling before me. Mine now, built on the legacies they tried to steal but could never truly take. My assistant entered quietly, carrying 2 folders. One thick with the details of the acquisition, the other thin and worn, bearing the trail of my parents' betrayal. I looked at her and softly said, "Let's talk about family." I opened the old patent documents and met their eyes. "Let's talk about how you forged my signature, claimed guardianship over an adult, and sold my intellectual property without my consent." Mom's composed face faltered just slightly. "We had your best interests at heart, Dash," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. I laid out the papers deliberately. "My legal team has a different view. They call it intellectual property theft, fraud, and an unauthorized transfer of assets." I fixed my gaze on them. "You wouldn't, would you? Parents who sold their daughter's billion-dollar patent for the price of a used car." Dad's whisper was almost a plea. Were your parents the ones who sold your future? I shot back coldly. Parents who spent years undermining my dreams while I built an empire. Parents who now want a piece of what they tried to destroy. Silence filled the office, deafening, heavy with unspoken truths. Outside, the sunlight reflected off Quantum Core's towering quantum processing center, where hundreds of servers ran the advanced version of the algorithm they'd sold for pocket change. You don't understand what it was like, Mom's voice cracked. Watching you waste your potential on computer code while everyone else was building respectable careers. I pulled up another screen, Quantum Core's employee directory. Over 5,000 brilliant minds in quantum computing, AI, and cutting-edge algorithms. All working for the daughter they dismissed as a waste of time. We made a mistake, Dad finally admitted, his bravado cracking. But we're here to make it right, to be a family again. A family, I echoed, voice cold and steady. I pressed another button, revealing a series of social media posts from the past 5 years. Snide comments about my mental health when I refused their career plans. Jokes about entrepreneurs living in fantasy worlds. Mom flinched as her own words appeared on the screen. We were worried about you. No, I cut her off sharply. You were worried about your reputation, what the country club thought, how my decisions reflected on you. I rose and approached a small safe embedded in the wall. Inside was a folder. My original notes, sketches, and diagrams for my quantum algorithm. While they spread rumors about my mental state, I was revolutionizing quantum computing. While they apologized for my career choices, I was building a company destined to change the world. And while they sold my patent for $10,000, I was already developing something even better. Dad's eyes fixed on the folder. What do you mean, something better? The algorithm you sold? That was version 1.0. Exactly, I interrupted. A breakthrough, yes, but primitive compared to what I've developed after that lesson about trust. I opened the folder, revealing complex equations and diagrams. This is Quantum Core's current technology, worth trillions once fully realized. The kind of innovation that could alter human history. And we could be part of it. Mom's face lit with eager hope. That's why you're really here, isn't it? To get involved. I gave her a cold smile. Not to apologize. Not to make amends. Because you saw the Quantum Core stock price rise. Because your country club friends are investing. Because finally you realize what you threw away. My phone buzzed again. The TechCorp board had approved the acquisition. In a week, I will own the company that profited from my stolen patent. I glanced at Dad and pulled out another folder. They're offering their entire investment portfolio, everything they've got, to show their commitment. I leafed through the numbers. Their entire net worth, house, cars, country club membership, less than what Quantum Core generates in an hour. I leaned back. Let me tell you a story. I paused, voice steady. About a young woman who believed in herself when no one else did. Who lost everything but kept coding, kept building, kept pushing forward. I pulled up Quantum Core's original business plan, the one they'd refused to read 5 years ago. This woman worked 20-hour days in a tiny studio apartment, eating ramen, drinking cheap coffee. She coded while others partied, built while others slept, dreamed while others settled. The screens lit up with Quantum Core's global presence. Research centers, quantum processing facilities, AI labs. She took the betrayal of those closest to her and turned it into fuel, I continued. Every dismissive comment became motivation. Every condescending smile became determination. Every attempt to box her into a respectable career became proof she had to succeed. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Sweetie, we never meant to admit you were wrong. To acknowledge you saw the future while we clung to the past. To accept that success isn't always a corner office at an accounting firm. I pressed another button. The screens displayed Quantum Core's charitable initiatives. Coding schools, scholarships, innovations shared with the world. While you told everyone I was finding myself, I found something greater. While you apologized for my choices, I made history. And while you sold my dreams for $10,000, I turned them into billions. Dad tried once more. We're still your parents. No, I said softly. You're shareholders in Tech Corporation, small investors, thinking you profited from my stolen work. Next week, you'll be part of Quantum Core's acquisition. Their faces paled as the implications sank in. Your shares will be converted at current market value, I continued. About $15,000. Half your original investment in my silly patent. Congratulations. Mom whispered, but we're family. Family, I echoed, believes in each other. Supports dreams. Not sell someone's life's work for pocket change. I rose. Jennifer will show you out. And as for the country club membership, tell them I declined. I'd rather build my own. As they left, shoulders slumped in defeat, I turned back to my screens. Quantum Core's stock soared to another record high. The servers hummed with innovation. Somewhere in the digital ether, the algorithm they sold for $10,000 continued generating billions. Later that night, I retrieved my old notebook, the one where I first sketched the equations that would change the world. On the first page, in my younger handwriting, was a quote I'd written after the patent sale. Success is the best revenge, but innovation is the better legacy. I gazed at the city skyline where Quantum Core's towers lit the night. Sometimes the greatest achievement isn't proving others wrong, it's proving yourself right. And sometimes, the most valuable patent isn't the one they steal from you, it's the one you create anew.